I did a trip once, and my trip started here in Munich a couple of years ago, and it led me to Tibet, 13,000 kilometers from here, and it took me 4 years to get there.
Thank you very much.
Why did it took so long? Because I was walking all the way, from Munich to Tibet, crossing 13 countries, and on top of that I started my journey without money in my pocket, because I wanted to travel, but I don't have the money, and I didn't want to wait until I have the time and all the money I need to do such a journey. So I quit my job, and I quit my apartment, I said goodbye to all my friends, I packed a huge backpack with 30 kilos of stuff which I never needed, and I went off. So what I knew, or what I could imagine, was that it would be a difficult challenge to travel without money. But what I didn't know was that traveling without money would never be the biggest obstacle along my way. Because the journey by walking will end in Istanbul, latest. Because Istanbul, you have to know, is built on 2 continents, Europe and Asia. And my plan was to walk all the way from Munich to Tibet. What I didn't know was that there are 2 bridges, but you're not allowed to cross those bridges by walking. I didn't know that. So I'm an optimistic person, so I went to the bridge and there's a policeman. I said, stop, no further. And I said, what's going on? I want to go, Tibet, walking. Get out of my way. And he said, no, because in the 70s, when the bridges were built, you were allowed to cross those bridges. But many people had those crazy idea to jump off the bridge and did suicide, and since then it's not allowed anymore. So, and I told the guy that I am already on my way since more than 8 months. I covered already 2,500 kilometers, and it was a wonderful journey, so I had no reason to jump off the bridge. And he said, well, guy, nice story, but no, I cannot let it pass. So, and I asked him, whom should I ask? And he said, well, you can try to ask the mayor. And I went to the mayor and he said, whoa, lovely story, Munich, Istanbul by walking, but no, sorry, Istanbul is such a big city. If I have to close the bridge just for 10 minutes, there are 16 million people in the big house, so there's no way that you can get special permission to walk over the bridge. And I was really, really frustrated at this point. I mean, I came this far. I walked already more than 6 months, and now I'm here, and just to get to know that there's no way to continue my journey, and I didn't want to give up at that point. So my next plan was to make a huge event out of it. So I called all the media agencies in Istanbul, and there are a lot, and I told them my story, and they were fascinated by it. So I had a lot of interviews. I went to TV stations and I had newspapers and things. But no one of those media agencies could give me that special permit to cross the bridge. It was really annoying. And one day, my phone rang and another journalist called me. He heard about my story and he wanted to make an interview with me, and I was bored with another interview. But then he told me that he just finished a very interesting article. And the headline goes like, walking from Europe to Asia on dry foot. And I was hooked. I mean, what's going on here? And it turned out that Istanbul is building or constructing a tunnel since many, many years. The tunnel will never get finished. There are lots of problems they have to cover. But since 2 weeks, for the first time, the tunnel is, I don't know, sealed. You can, for the first time, you're able to walk through the tunnel. I mean, I was always looking for a way over the Bosphorus River, and now it turns out there's a way under the Bosphorus. So as I said, please call those engineers. I want to walk through the tunnel. And he picked up the phone. He called those engineers. They were a good friend of him. And 3 days later was my big day. They allowed me really to walk through that tunnel. Now you have to know, when you meet engineers, and when engineers talk about their baby, and this tunnel is their baby, they will tell you everything about it. everything. The tunnel is just 1.4 kilometers long, and it took 2 hours to get to the other side. They told me everything, which seals and gasket and tools they used to construct that tunnel. And the lights went off, but after 2 hours I made it with dry feet to the other side. I was in Asia, on the Asian continent. But it took me 3 weeks to find that way. I was stuck in Istanbul for 3 weeks, and I was traveling without money, so I needed a place to stay, I needed something to eat, and at this point I get very creative to find a way how to make money. So, do you know those guys who standing in the pedestrian area with a sign calling free hugs? Yeah. And this is what I did. And now you're going to hate me because I took money for it. So I made a sign written hug, like €1 or something like that. And yeah, and you know, when the people passing by like, go to hell. Like, what are you doing? But, many people were passing by, but especially young people, they stopped and they said, "Whoa, what are you doing? And why do you carry such a big backpack?" And I told them my story, that I'm stuck here in Istanbul looking for a way to continue my journey towards Tibet. And they gave me money. They even don't want to hug me. They just go away. And they were asking, "So where are you going to stay tonight?" And I said, "I have no idea. So when you finish here, then come over. You can stay with us for tonight." So I had money in my head and a place to stay, and even better, because Istanbul is a huge city, lots of people living there. They were asking me, "So after Istanbul, which cities are you going to visit?" And I had a kind of plan. And I said, "Well, we'll have friends over here, we have friends there, we have friends there, and when you are over there, then just give us a message, write us a message, and you can stay with our friends." And I had places to stay months in advance, because I was stuck in Istanbul for 3 weeks, and this is what I wanted to share with you. So, what looked like the challenge for me, and I wanted to solve that problem somehow, was a huge gift actually. I met so many amazing people who gave me a place to stay, who shared their apartment with me, and I was just lucky to have that problem, that I was stuck in Istanbul for 3 weeks. And this is just one story of my 4-year-long trip, and thank you for listening.